Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev is a realized master, mystic, and yogi. He has shown the way for people to attain to their natural joy and to live life with experience from one's own inner nature. His presence is filled with grace and compassion. Sadhguru's scientific approach towards spirituality and work towards the upliftment of humanity have received accolades worldwide. The words that come from him in intensity and utmost clarity, from his deep understanding and wisdom, can change the very core of the being. Belonging to no particular tradition, Sadhguru incorporates what is most valid for the modern person from the spiritual sciences. His work, an outpouring of his blissfulness, finds expression in the form of a ceaseless offering to help all beings. Available to all who are willing, Sadhguru's life is an invitation to the divine through individual transformation. Welcome to the silent revolution of self-realization.
The furthest limits of ignorance is not reached because of effortful thought, nor is it reached because of good deeds that one can perform. But only because of the mindless ecstasy that is set forth because of a vibrant One. In this mindless ecstasy, it takes you to the very boundaries of your ignorance. At the same time, it also reveals the bond that keeps you as a limited self. When I say ignorance, everything is just ignorance. What we call as knowledge is just ignorance. One can just move from one level of ignorance to another till he becomes willing enough to fall into the ultimate oblivion of a realized One. Ignorance means different things to different people. Once it happened, Tenali Ramakrishna. If you have not heard of him before, he was a very humorous bard in the court of a South Indian king who built a huge empire in this part of the world. Because he came from a village, Tenali, and his name was Ramakrishna, then generally he was known as Tenali Rama. Some time ago I met someone in Florida who came from the village Tenali, but he did not know that Ramakrishna came from Tenali. That would be a great insult for him, because Tenali Rama strived very hard to become the most humorous known poet of those days. So on a certain day, he was sitting in a group of people and discussing some philosophical matters. But there was one man who was just outside the circle who went on making irrelevant comments. After some time, he couldn't take it anymore. He said, "You are a fool, you are a good-for-nothing, and you are nothing." That man was stung by the insult. He said, "How can you say I am nothing?" Tenali Rama repeated, "Yes, you are nothing, you are really nothing." That man said, "How dare you say I am nothing? I am the town's cobbler." Tenali Ramakrishna picked up his footwear, tore it and threw it at him and said, "If you are really the cobbler, fix this and make it like new." That man immediately picked up the footwear and left to fix it. So ignorance is always in many different layers and boundaries. When somebody says you're nothing, if you're a cobbler, it's an insult. If you're truly into meditation, that would be the truth for you. Life continues to be a mystery. It's always been, always is, still is, it always will be. At different times, we have thought different things are mysterious. The borders of our ignorance may be enhanced over a period of time. These millions of years of human evolution on this planet, definitely our brains have grown, become more capable of intellectual processing and perception. With all this evolution, life has become only more mysterious, not less mysterious. Maybe 1,000 years ago, we did not know how this body functions. Now we have opened it, looked at it and done so many things with it. We know many things. The more and more we get to know about this, it is only becoming more and more mysterious, like never before. 1,000 years ago, if you looked up in the sky, I don't know if anybody has counted, but maybe I think there are 5,000–10,000 stars up there that you could see and count with your naked eye. Today we have powerful telescopes with which we have looked beyond this. Now we know there are billions of stars. It's only getting more mysterious and more complicated. As you enhance your perception, it will become more and more mysterious. Science is supposed to bring clarity to your life. But today, modern physics is creating more confusion and more mysterious. It sounds more mysterious than mysticism. The mumbo-jumbo of mysticism sounds reasonable compared to what the modern physics is talking about today. An instant sounds much more unreasonable than a Harry Potter. Really. Because they are talking in totally mysterious ways. And as our perception and so-called knowledge increases, life is becoming only more and more mysterious. So all that we are doing is pushing the borders of our ignorance, making it larger and larger. It is different things for different people. Here, for example, if you close your eyes, for some people it's just darkness. For some people it's light. For some it's a nightmare. For some they're becoming sweetly ecstatic. For some their energies are on chili powder. For some they're just hurtling through with their eyeballs rolled up, they don't know where, into a bottomless pit. So, the mystery endures and will continue to. Today, modern science is saying this is an ever-expanding universe. If it's ever-expanding into what? If you have to expand, you need some space to expand. If it's ever-expanding, where is it going to expand? What is it going to expand into? So it is a continuous mystery. Unless you become an absolute void by yourself, you don't know the depth of your ignorance. So enlightenment is not a knowing. Enlightenment is touching a borderless ignorance. Everybody's ignorance has a border. An enlightened being's ignorance is borderless, it's boundless. When life happens in limited ways, everything seems to be clear. When things beyond your limitations begin to happen, nothing is clear anymore. Those of you who've been on the path, a path, the word path is a deception because a path is supposed to take you somewhere, but you're only getting more and more lost. Yes. You're only getting more and more lost, maybe a little joyfully lost, but lost. If you get completely lost, and when you see there's no hope of getting anywhere, that's it. It's only because you're trying to get somewhere you can be lost. When you realize that you're absolutely lost, hopelessly lost, when all hope of finding something is gone, then you're just fine. So, if your ignorance crosses all boundaries, when you become utterly ignorant means you have become empty. Emptiness is ignorance. The ultimate ignorance is Shiva. That which is not is ignorance. That which is some kind of knowing. So, as long as one is in pursuit of something or the other, It's an endless process. As long as we are getting identified and attached to different situations into which we get into, however beautiful the situation may be, the moment you think this is it, you are trying to freeze yourself into a certain state of ignorance. When you realize that every peak is only a launch pad for the next peak, and the next peak is not the goal or the destination, the only thing that can be destination is an ultimate oblivion. That sounds very negative and uninspiring for anybody. Absolutely uninspiring. Not a destination that anybody would want to seek. People would like to go to heaven. People would like to sit in sweet places, sit in God's lap, do pleasant things. If life gets too sweet, you may die a diabetic. To have the awareness, to know that we are only moving from one form of ignorance to another is the greatest blessing that one can start with right now. Once there was a yogi who sat in a temple yard and did his own things. There were moments when he was godlike. Then people gathered and started worshipping him. Next moment he would be like a madman. Then people went away thinking they made a mistake. Like this he was alternating between one thing and another all the time. One particular householder who was a regular to the temple got drawn to this yogi, and he saw the yogi, if nobody served him, did not eat for many days. So he took it upon himself. Every day he cooked food and brought it for the yogi. Until he ate, he sat there. He himself not eating, he sat there, and what was left over, he ate. He made this his life, and he made this his mission. The yogi sometimes ate in the morning, sometimes ate in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, sometimes the next morning. You never know when he eats. But this man dedicated himself to this one task, cooking food, bringing it for him. Till he eats, he doesn't eat. He waited and waited. This went on for some time, a few years. Then one day, yogi took a certain fondness to this man, and one day he said, "You don't bother. Today, from tomorrow, I will come to your house. You don't bother to come, I will come to your house. You cook the food and be ready, I will come to your home and eat it there." The man said, "Okay." Went home, next day he prepared food and waited. He was sitting and waiting, yogi did not turn up. Then a dog was bothering him, a dog was trying to smell the food and go near the food. So he chased it away many times, but he kept coming. So he took a stick and gave a nice beating to the dog. Then the dog moved away, stood back, and tears appeared in its eyes, and then went away. Then till evening he waited, the yogi did not come. Then he went to the temple. The yogi was just sitting there. Tears were flowing in his eyes. The man was disturbed. He said, "You said you will come home, and I waited and waited, and why the tears? You said you will come, that's why I waited, otherwise I would have come." The yogi said, "I came many times to your house. To be exact, 12 times I tried to enter your house. You abused me, you chased me, then you beat me up. So here I am." Then the man realized that dog actually tried to enter the house 12 times. So a master need not always come in the form of a swan, white swan, as it has been written in the legends. He may come as a dog. If you get too attached to your particular form, a particular experience, a particular state within yourself, you'll miss the whole point. To progress in one's path simply means that you have an expanded sense of ignorance. Once it happened, a man was trying to carry a grandfather clock from a truck to his house, on his back, a huge one. A drunk came by and said, "Hey, mister, you just take my advice, get yourself a wristwatch." If all you're looking for is dividing the day into 24 hours, all you need is a wristwatch. But if that doesn't hold much meaning to you, if that process of dividing life into proper compartments and living doesn't mean much to you anymore, you want to know the timelessness of life, the boundless nature of what this is, then you need to be little bit set on fire. Simply very nice logic or pretty emotions won't do it. They're nice, they organize your life. They make your life clean and acceptable. But it doesn't magnify the possibility of moving from a limited state of ignorance to an unlimited state of ignorance. Today, modern scientists are coming to this point. All these years they believed, someday we will know what is the nature of the existence. Today, lot of top-level physicists are coming to this point where they're beginning to talk in terms of we will never know. We will just go on expanding the borders of our ignorance, but we will never know. This is what mysticism meant. This is what a mystic means, an utterly ignorant person. Everybody else is little bit ignorant, little bit knowledgeable. They know some things, they don't know some things. Someone who doesn't know anything at all, who is not burdened by knowledge, because knowledge is an accumulation. Someone who is simply not burdened by any kind of accumulation, he is a mystic because he's chosen to be utterly, absolutely ignorant, not in parts. So, better to moving from a wristwatch to a grandfather clock is not a comfortable thing. Not at all comfortable. If you're carrying a grandfather clock on your back, it may have great value, but you can't even look at the time. You have to ask somebody, please look at the time and tell me what's the time. Aren't you slowly becoming like this these days? How am I? I hear a lot of people coming up to me and ask me, Sadhguru, how am I? It's all right. Sensible people ask, how are you? Those who are becoming slowly moving towards larger dimensions of ignorance are beginning to ask Sadhguru, how am I? I'm supposed to enlighten you. What to do? If you have questions.
நமஸ்காரம் சத்குரு. இதுவரைக்கும் நான் 3 நாள் தான் மேக்ஸிமம் ஆசிரமத்தில் இருந்திருக்கேன். இதுதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் 1 வீக் இருக்கிறேன். சம்டைம்ஸ் ஐ ஃபீல் மோர் கம்ஃபர்டபுள், சம்டைம்ஸ் ஐ ஃபீல் மோர் அன்கம்ஃபர்டபுள். சில நேரம் வீட்டுக்கு போகணும் போல இருக்கு, சில நேரம் இங்கேயே இருக்கணும் போல இருக்கு. ஐ வாஸ் ஸோ கன்ஃபியூஸ்ட். ப்ளீஸ் கைட் மீ வாட் ஐ வாண்ட் டு டூ.
ஜென்ரலாக எல்லாருக்கும் அப்படிதான் இருக்குது. So he's saying he's here for the second or third time, and when he comes here, he really wants to come here, so he comes here. But when he comes here, suddenly sometimes he struggles, he wants to go back home. When he's there, of course, he wants to come here. So I'm saying him that this is not his problem, this is an age-old problem. Somebody is married for 30 years with 8 children. He's still thinking, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have walked the spiritual path. This is not a new problem, this is a very ancient problem. So whatever you wish to do, you must bring yourself to a moment of joy and clarity within yourself. At that moment, what you decide, even if you die, you must go by that. Whenever your emotions go up and down, your mind says many things. That's not important. It says one thing today, one thing in the morning, one thing in the evening. It says one thing today and another thing tomorrow. That's of no consequence. In a moment of clarity, when I'm saying joy, because when you're happy, you're not compulsive. When you're very happy and clear, at that time, if you look at things and see that, yes, this is what is more sensible for me, just do that. It doesn't matter if it feels like hell. It doesn't matter. You go through hell for 10 years, it doesn't matter, you just do that. Because that's where your well-being is. When you're in different states of compulsiveness, if you make decisions as to which way to turn, you will be endlessly lost. It is not about what you're doing, it is just that you're doing it in an unwavering way. Every day you are off and on, doesn't happen. You just unwavering, you become one-pointed. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to be a butcher in an unwavering way, it will open up. Just not wavering for a moment, what you have decided in a moment of clarity and joy, just sticking onto it without wavering a little bit, nobody can deny it to you. Every day when your thoughts and emotions fly this way and that way, you keep changing your mind, changing your mind, changing your mind, you will go in circles, endlessly in circles. Because one who changes direction too often, obviously is not interested in going anywhere, isn't it? You know, this is… the world is round. So which direction you go, it doesn't matter. As long as you go without changing direction, you'll make the journey, isn't it? You'll complete the journey, isn't it? If you change your direction, it'll put you into an endless state of being lost, always lost. So, you want to be there, no problem. You want to be here, be here. Don't go on changing your mind every day, morning one way, evening another way. You're a torture to yourself and everybody around you. One who is constantly changing their mind is a torture to himself and to everyone around, isn't it so? Right now you're thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to do my yoga. Tomorrow morning, when the dawn at 5 o'clock in the morning, I hear it every day, I don't know how many of you hear it. The moment it goes dawn, maybe we should beat a drum. Then your body says, to hell with this yoga, all I want to… It keeps changing, its priorities keep changing and changing and changing. There is another way to live. Where the biggest joys that you have known in your life, the greatest pleasures that you have known in your life will look like, will look like ants' pleasure. This being is capable of that. When it comes to body and mind, we're all differently capable. No two bodies are equally capable, no two minds are equally capable. But when it comes to this being, every being is equally capable of containing the very existence within himself. Scientists are saying it's ever expanding. How to contain it? That's the whole beauty of it. That which is endless, that which is eternal, that which is boundless, and that which is always expanding, that can be contained in this being. About that, no two beings are differently capable. Every being is equally capable. It doesn't happen because you keep changing direction. Wherever you find a little niche which is comfortable, you try to settle down there. This so-called getting civilized has become a huge detriment for spiritual process. Not essentially, but I would like to say this. Because if you were a nomad, nomad means what? That means you're not mad. So who is not a nomad? One who is mad. One who is mad settles down. One who is not mad moves on and on and on, doesn't settle down anywhere. The moment we stopped being nomadic, we got into a certain kind of madness of safety and security. Whether it's physical, psychological or emotional, we're always looking for that niche where we can settle down and sleep. And once you find a niche and it gets too sweet and comfortable, and you don't have the courage to step out and once again make the journey. So if all you're looking for a picnic is a picnic, then it's okay. You know, it feels like that when if you want to try to climb the seventh hill, you climb a certain distance where your knees will be creaking and your breath will be looking like a steam locomotive. Push, 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 it's going. Then you look around and the bamboo, the beautiful rocks, the bamboo around you and everything is so wonderful. The valley is so beautiful. What is the purpose of taking one more step? This is wonderful, this is it. Your mind tells you, this is it. I'm not questioning the beauty of the place. I'm not questioning the pleasure of being there. But right now, this argument has come. This new level of logic has come in you simply because your lungs are working like a steam engine and your legs are creaking like an unoiled bullock cart. So, new logic will come. Do you see every time for different situations that you get into, different states of comfort or discomfort you get into, you develop a new logic? Have you noticed this with yourself? Like they say, when you're a student, everybody is a communist. The moment you come out of your education and get yourself a job, you become a socialist. The moment you get married, you become a capitalist. According to new situations, different levels of comfort or discomfort, new levels of logic will come. Now, the world has come to a point where the Maoists have become capitalist, that's it. That is it, So, it keeps happening. That's why in a certain moment of clarity and joy, when you are there, you look at something, what you see is your well-being, you stick to that. Tomorrow it looks like horror to you, it doesn't matter, you stick to it. It feels like hell, you stick to it. That's well-being. If you keep shifting, nothing happens.
Sadhguru, you're talking about perception and clarity. But at the same time, illusion also looks so very real. Now, where is that fine line between illusion and perception? Because when I see it, both are of the mind. Now, how do I really rationalize between, okay, I am in an illusory state or I am in perfect clarity? Because when I am in that state of clarity also, how is it that whatever has been recorded or whatever that I have gone through is what is reacting to the situation? So how do I really make that distinction at any given moment?
So now you are asking for trouble. So you're talking about the fine line between illusion and perception. There is no fine line. It is all one big illusion. By the time you know it, life has passed by. But you don't have to worry, because passing by is also an illusion. Nothing passes by. So if everything is illusion, isn't enlightenment one big illusion? In a way it is. In a way it is. That's why I've been talking not about knowing, but about ignorance. I think I've been telling you in some of these programs, I've been telling people, earlier we used to make our brochures like this, from ordinary to extraordinary. Do this yoga and you will move from ordinary to extraordinary. People thought they are going to become very special. When they came in, after they enrolled, paid their money, before that we never said. After all that happened, then we told them, this is about becoming more ordinary than others, extraordinary. This is not about becoming special. The enlightened club, the club of the enlightened ones, is a place where there is no such thing as illusion and perception, where everything is illusion. I have 24 fingers, can you see? Why? Can you see or no? No? What can I do? That's ignorance, lack of perception. This is lack of perception. You don't see my 24 fingers. You missed it. Now, you tell me, is number 10 a less of an illusion than number 1? Is it? Is 100 a more of a reality than number 1? Is it so? Everything is made up, isn't it so? The only reality is 0. Rest is all made up. It's not incidental that 0 was discovered in India. Because this is the only place where people spend maximum amount of time eyes closed. If you sit eyes closed, initially fantasies will go on, chattering will go on, gods will come, devils will come. If you simply sit, then you will see you are one big vacuum. You are just one big 0. This is the only culture where maximum number of people spend a huge amount of time with their eyes closed. So, if you perceive that you are an empty shell, would you call that perception? Or would you call that a realization of what an illusion you are? What would you call it? It's up to you what you call it. But there is no fine line, that's the whole problem. Or that's the beauty of it. There is no fine line, there are no lines to cross. It's just fine the way it is. But the problem is, you're in a certain state of compulsiveness that you have to move somewhere. This compulsiveness has essentially come as a consequence of the huge accumulation that you have made within yourself. This accumulation has happened because you have the illusion that you are perceiving something. Because you believe that you're perceiving something, the accumulation has happened. If you realize experientially, not intellectually, experientially if you realize that you are actually not perceiving anything, you actually are not. Tell me, after all these years of being with me, what have you perceived? Because whatever you perceive and you're feeling wonderful, 2 days later I come back and demolish it anyway. Whatever you think we have attained, I come back and trample it anyway. So what have you perceived in these many years? Slowly, you are beginning to make yourself comfortable in your ignorance. That's good. Because that's the only place you can be. And that's not some kind of damnation. That is the beauty and the mystery of life. If you become a total illusion. You are right now, but you don't know, you think you're something. Why? In so many ways we told this to you, in the Isha Yoga itself. We told you you're nothing, but you said, I am a cobbler. I said, okay. Didn't we tell you you're nothing? In the introduction itself I told you that you're actually nothing. But then you said, no, I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am this. I said, all right, let's play the game for some time. When we say you're a nothing, does it mean… can nothing be perceived or is it an illusion? Nothingness means non-existence. That means you're an illusion yourself. You are a make-believe happening. But when you say the illusion looks real, only illusion looks real. What else can? If you go to a cinema, don't you see people on the cinema screen, though they are only two-dimensional? All the great heroes that you have seen, and you may have joined the fan club, whether you are Rajinikanth club or Robert Redford club or whatever, all that you saw of them was just flat on the screen. They were not even three-dimensional, isn't it? Just a little bit of light playing. If you raised your hand a little bit, your hand would be there instead of his face. Isn't it so? Did you ever try that? Did you interrupt? You must do these things. If you raised your hand, the great hero's face would be gone and your hand would be there, isn't it? That's how fragile he was. But didn't he look larger than life? Don't you worship him today more than all the people around you who are flesh and blood? You only saw light and sound. But hasn't it become more real than the real? Isn't a cinema theater, what happens in the cinema, much more real than the reality of life? So illusion is always exaggerated. So it always definitely looks more real than the real. If you heard of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna became a devotee of Kali. For him, Kali was not a deity, Kali was a living reality. She's danced in front of him, she ate from his own hands. She came when he called, and she left him dripping with ecstasy. This was real. It was actually happening. You could have tested him if you wanted chemically. He was all ecstasy. One day, he was sitting on the banks of Ganga, the Hooghly river, and a very great yogi, a rare yogi, very few like that have ever happened. Totapuri came this way because though Ramakrishna's body, mind and emotion was dripping with ecstasy, his being was longing to go beyond this ecstasy. Because somewhere there is an awareness that itself is a bondage. When I tell people simple things about their lives, when I say everybody has the choice right now to be either this way or that way, people say, that's easy for you, Sadhguru, you are aware. Tell me, who is not aware? Please look at yourself and see. Even in an extreme moment of emotion or anger, there is a spot of awareness even in you, isn't it so? Isn't it there? If it is not there, that means you've become pathologically ill. Otherwise, even in the most extreme moments of emotion within you, there is one dot of awareness. It is just that you are empowering the emotion because you have an investment there. You are not empowering the awareness, that's all. Have you ever had a situation in your life, there was not even a spot of awareness in you? It was always there. It is just that you did not invest on that. You're betting on the wrong horse. You're betting on the horse that you're used to, a known horse. So, because of your friendship with your anger, friendship with your love, friendship with pleasure, friendship with whatever sweet emotions that can happen within you, you're investing on that. You are not investing on that tiny spot of awareness which has always been there with you. There is nobody who's not been aware, there is nobody who is not aware. It is just that most people have not empowered their awareness. They have empowered something else, so accordingly life is happening. So Ramakrishna was longing somewhere, but the sweetness of ecstasy that he's experiencing was too much to leave and go. This is not any different. This shouldn't be misunderstood, but this is not any different from a drunkard being addicted to his drink, a drug addict being addicted to some substance. It is not any different. The only thing that is different is alcohol and drug may be damaging the system. This may not be damaging the system because this is internal. But the addiction is same, the attachment is same, the longing for that is same. And the limitation is also same. It's beautiful. There's no question about it. So, Ramakrishna, whenever he had contact with Kali, his object of devotion, he would be dripping with ecstasy and he was fine with that. He didn't want to leave the beauty of that and move on. So when Totapuri came, this transpired between them. Totapuri said, this is very simple. You have the necessary energy. You just have to empower your awareness. You are empowering your emotion, you are empowering your body, You are empowering the chemistry within you. You are not empowering your awareness. So Ramakrishna said, okay, I will empower my awareness and sit like this. The moment he has a vision of Kali, he's again gone into uncontrollable states of love and ecstasy. Any number of times he sat down, but the moment he sees Kali, he just flies off. Then Totapuri said, next time Kali appears, you have to take a sword and cut her into pieces. Ramakrishna asked, where do I get the sword from? Totapuri said, from the same place where you get Kali from. If you are able to create a whole Kali, why can't you create a sword? You can do it. If you are able to create a goddess, why can't you create a sword to cut her? Get ready. Ramakrishna sat, the moment Kali came, he burst into ecstasy and forgot about the sword and the awareness and everything. So Totapuri told him, you sit this time. The moment Kali comes, see here, he picked up a piece of glass and he said, with this piece of glass, I am going to cut you. Where you are stuck, that I am going to cut. When I cut that, you create the sword and cut Kali down. So when Ramakrishna was just on the edge of ecstasy, when Kali appeared in his vision, Totapuri took a piece of glass and cut him really deep across his forehead. Then Ramakrishna created the sword and cut Kali down. And he became free from the mother and the ecstasy of feeding off her. And that's when he truly became a Paramahamsa. Till then, he was a lover, he was a devotee, he was a child to the mother goddess that he created. So, insects are getting closer to me than anybody. Who knows who he is? You don't know. So this is not something that you go about making distinction between what is reality and what is illusion. You don't do that. Whatever is happening within you, it doesn't matter what's happening within you. You keep your steering wheel straight. As I've been telling you for the last some time now, you keep your direction straight. Whatever is happening within you, it doesn't matter. You just gas it and gas it and gas it. As long as you're traveling straight, you just keep the throttle down. Illusion is happening, keep the throttle down. Reality is happening, keep the throttle down. You're hallucinating, keep the throttle down. Don't let go off the gas pedal. Just down and down and down, that's all. That's your business. Rest I will take care. Your business is to put your right foot down, not the other one. Just the right foot down all the time. See, left foot up, right foot down. If you put this down, this may touch the brakes or the clutch. Then you will simply rev in the same place, you won't go anywhere. All the time, a leaden foot down, whatever is happening. Illusion is happening, gas it. Reality is happening, gas it. God is happening, gas it. Devil is happening, gas it. You have to break through all of that. You don't think, okay, this is reality, let me settle down here, this is illusion, let me discard this. No. You just gas your way through all that. It doesn't matter. You don't try to decipher what is illusion, what is reality. The moment you try to do that, it'll become endless intellectual circus. Too much circus it will lead to, an endless circus and a purposeless circus, because it'll not get you anywhere. It will make you look smart among people, but existence will see you as stupid because it doesn't open its doors for you. It doesn't matter how smart you are with people, how smart you are in the society. This existence will not open its doors, it will open its doors only to the smartest. And the smartest is also the dumbest. Really. So shall I be dumb? You can't be dumb, just say that. If you try to be dumb, you're trying to be smart, isn't it? Do you see this? Do you see you can't try to be stupid? If you're acting stupid, that means you're trying to be smart, isn't it so? You're being super smart. So you can't do that. That's why I say, always, whatever is happening, see that you're stupid, because you can't do that. You can't do nothingness, isn't it? You can do something, you cannot do nothingness. You can be a somebody, but you cannot be a nobody. I am a nobody is a great assertion of your somebodyness, isn't it? You can't do it. When you're tired and simply sit quietly, it happens. Your effort has to tire, or you need phenomenal intelligence to go beyond effort. Right now, whatever is happening, you're only trying to get out of it. You're driving through the mountain, you're trying to get out of it. You're driving through wonderful plains, you're hurrying up to get out of it. All the time, gas pedal down. Wherever you are, however beautiful it is, as quickly as possible you want to get out of it. That should be your intention, always. However wonderful it is, you're in God's lap, you must be getting out of it as quick as possible. If you're doing that constantly, then you will get to that ultimate stupidity where you don't have to try to be smart. You've given up on that. Then you're at ease, absolute ease. Life is at ease. When this life comes to absolute ease, then the whole existence is wide open. No door is closed. Everything is open. Just everything. Creation and creator is accessible to you simply because this has come to ease, total ease.
You are my perfect mirror, you show me what I'm not. In the endless pit of what once was me, layer and layer you peel off me. The pain it is, but the joy it brings. So thank you for showing me what I'm not, for showing me what I could be.